I'm Jim Fisher, and welcome to a special edition of The Artist Tree. When you hear the words electronic music, what comes to your mind? Sound synthesizer? Progressive techno? Computers? Or how about psychedelic trance? Combining music, sound, science, and technology, electronic music generally implies the use of electronic instrumentation to create or manipulate sound. In 1942, French composer and theoretician Pierre Schaeffer created what is known as the first electronic music studio, using a variety of microphones, phonographs, variable speed tape recorders, and records of natural sounds. He is considered the chief developer of a unique and early form of avant-garde music known as musique concrète, French for concrete music. Fast forward to 2011, where the Electronic Music Midwest Festival, hosted by Kansas City, Kansas Community College, in conjunction with Lewis University, invited the community to experience this eclectic form of music. Under the guidance of technical director Ian Corbett, who is also coordinator of the audio engineering program and assistant professor of music technology and audio recording at KCKCC, the core of the system used at the festival are 8 Mackie 1521 bi-amp speakers, an EAW QSC subwoofer system, and a Soundcraft MH3 32+4 channel mixer. This annual festival consists of approximately 9 short concerts, about an hour in length, and over 65 composers and artists were invited to participate at EMM this year. We had the opportunity to talk with the organizers of the festival, as well as a few of those participants.
Well, we started Electronic Music Midwest in 2000, and it started out as the Kansas City Festival of Electronic Music, and it was hosted right here at KCKCC. The idea was that we wanted to try to create an environment for composers and audience members to collaborate, interact with one another, dialogue about what composers do today. And so the idea was, how could we do this in a couple of days and do some concerts. EMM has changed a great deal in the last 11 years. We used to do paper presentations. It was at one time it was actually very academic. Now it's a little bit more laid back, and our concerts are very short because some of the music is very complex. So the idea came about with, how can we get people together and to talk about this great art form. Depending on who you ask, you're probably going to get a lot of different answers. We define it as, if you use something that you plugged in that required electricity, it's electronic for us. Oftentimes we will use the term electroacoustic. That's really just to make us sound smart. It means the same thing. Electronic music, electroacoustic music, in our minds. So some of these pieces that we have on the festival are pieces that were written entirely in a computer, and they're presented just simply through playback. I would say about 2/3 of the compositions that are presented here at EMM will have a live component, like a live performer, maybe interacting with a computer, or a fixed media piece. We actually have a piece coming up on this concert, which has a pianist, and it has a computer that is listening to the pianist and making choices on what to play back, on what the pianist does. And it also has video. So there's really 3 facets to it. We have another great piece for voice and live electronics, where a person's playing a laptop computer and there's a singer that's singing some songs where the text is by Shakespeare. So electronic music for us really is, if you plug it in, it's electronic. I would say one of the things that one can take away from a festival like this is that there's a lot of diversity in music that's happening right now. And what we try to do is provide a slice of what's happening in electronic music composition, which is a pretty narrow field, but it's extremely eclectic. And people are doing lots of different things. The one generalization you can make about electronic music is that you can't generalize it. Everybody's doing very interesting, fascinating things, and maybe not every piece will be for you, but I'm certain there will be something that you'll really enjoy. And we present a diverse collection of these pieces that are being written by living composers today. So, and hopefully, you know, the composers are here, so you like a piece, you go up to them and you tell them you like it. If you don't like a piece, probably you shouldn't do that, but go up and tell them you don't like it, but whatever. So it's an opportunity to meet people that are, you know, using new media and new technologies to create art.
Well, we get a lot of submissions, somewhere close to 200 every year, and the board sits down and we go through all of them and listen to them and make choices based on the style, the quality. It's really kind of hard to pin down. One of the things that we like about this festival is we try to choose a variety of sounds and a variety of aesthetics. So a lot of the times we'll hear a piece and we'll think, you know, we don't have anything like this, and we'll program it for those reasons. We'll program things because they sound good. I mean, that's kind of the only criteria we have. It's got to sound good and it's got to be interesting. However a composer or musician frames sounding good and interesting, that's what we're interested in.
For me, I found it's like, I guess, just doing any music, but it's about meeting people and networking. And so the way I like to approach it is by finding people that I can collaborate with, either in a production of a piece or in a performance of a piece. Because often, like, the people I like to collaborate with are people that will like have ready access to a performance somewhere or to a venue or something, so that I kind of piggyback onto what they're already doing. And then, you know, when I have the opportunity to return the favor by inviting people to be on a concert I'm producing or something, I like to do it back that way. So for me, the path really is just finding people to work with and collaborating, and then just looking for any opportunity to kind of make my own opportunity. So I did a project a couple years ago where I just composed music that went online for a year. So I didn't have to worry about any of the kind of physical limitations. I just could put my name out there and get people to follow it online, and it was very, very easy to do that way, I guess.
Well, it's a piece that I wrote, so I know it very well, and it's sort of designed for me to play because it's the way I like to play. So it's difficult though, you know, to sort of make the switch from writing the piece into actually performing it, because it's this thing that you've lived with for months while you're working on it, and then to actually sort of have to recreate it the same way every time is a big challenge. I often end up playing pieces by other people at my school, other composers there, but I've worked in the past a lot with dancers. That's a lot of fun because it's sort of, I get to play my own music, but other people's as well, and it's sort of fun to make that synthesis happen.
I'm very interested in a field called sound art, which is sort of a meeting point between experimental music, electronic music, and the visual arts. And this is a field that I think there's been a lot of very interesting things happening recently. The past maybe 10 years, there's been a sort of a resurgence in some sound art practice. And my work is a sound sculpture, I would call it. It's mainly for a gallery setting, like an art gallery. It's been shown in some art galleries before. And it's basically, like you said, there's some tape recorders, and it's being controlled by motors, and it records live streaming news radio information and kind of plays with that information in various ways using this older technology to record the live information, rewind it, and cut it up in different ways and represent this information, so creating an instant history of this 24-hour news cycle that we kind of live in. I'm really interested in also the human voice, and I like things like radio announcers, auctioneers, hypnotists, people that have different kinds of delivery, and I like the idea of using the news radio. These people are trained to speak in a certain way that you always know what part of the sentence they're in, so that you can follow them and they can sight read information. And I like playing with that way of delivery through using different ways of cutting it up and rearranging it.
If you'd like to learn more about the Electronic Music Midwest Festival, visit www.emmfestival.org. I'm Jim Fisher. Thanks for watching.